Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
Max Bankman, I'm the new doctor.
Welcome aboard the Odyssey.
ABC Thursdays.
This ship is heaven. We're tending to our passengers' dreams. I'm in.
From 911 executive producer Ryan Murphy comes a splashy new drama on a luxury cruise ship with Joshua Jackson and Don Johnson.
It's your job to keep everyone alive.
She's in VFib. 1, 2, 3. Clear.
I have a pulse.
You're gonna be okay.
Dr. Odyssey. Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Happy Fisting Friday.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
Ooh, yeah. Spread them.
Do you feel safe with us?
I don't.
Will you let us do what we want to do? Will you give us control?
Ew. Good God. Anyways, welcome back to Fisting Friday. We're Meghan and Melisa, and we're going to read the results of last week's episode of But Am I Wrong? And it was a good one.
Melissa says we need more than 2 political parties. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. Someone said, we have a similar issue here in Canada too, where we do have other smaller parties, but it's always a usual showdown between Liberals, who would be our Dems as they're more central left than anything. PC, Republicans, although Quebec has their own party with a leader gunning for prime minister that scares the shit out of me, and the NDP, which is the New Democratic Party, but is the Bernie Sanders actually more left-leaning of them all? With how strong the conservative presence is, it's so frustrating to want to vote Green or NDP, but knowing it'll just take away from a vote that could hopefully keep the PCs out. Plus, it doesn't help the NDP leader is a younger POC and the Liberal leader is a white Nepo baby whose dad was prime minister at one point and has an airport named after him. The face melting emoji. My Providence's premier is conservative and ruining so much that I cried when he was elected. His brother was once the mayor of my city and made us a global laughingstock. Sounds about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, I come from a country with a multi-party system where the parties then have to create a coalition. It's definitely easier to find a party that aligns with your views and beliefs, but also harder for the parties in power to get a consensus on anything. But overall, I definitely think it's better than a bipartisan system. I believe this often results in stronger conflict in the country, and it's more difficult for people to decide to change who they vote for, as it's often a big part of their identity. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else said, I don't know much about how politics works, but I do know that we need a better system for who can run for president. I need them to go through some type of training or vetting process, maybe like Survivor or something. That way we can really see who they are before they get in office, or better yet, not have a president for a while because us girly pops need a break.
I'd love that. Bring back Mesopotamia.
Someone else said, left wing, right wing, same bird. And I like that.
Wow. That's actually kind of depressing, like, because it is the same bird.
Yeah. I was specifically looking for that one because I knew it came in and it had sat with me because it was just so simple, but made complete sense.
Yeah. Ooh, that one stinks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then my hot take was Meghan wants to bring back letters. 5% said Meghan is wrong, 95% said Meghan is not wrong. I have questions for the people who think I'm wrong. Because, like, why? First of all, I'm not going to be writing these letters, but I would like these letters to be written. I'm not asking you to write the letters.
Maybe they don't want to read them.
Someone wants to.
Have you caught up on Bridgerton yet? Not like caught up, because the new season drops last night.
No, bitch, but we are going to talk about that on Tuesday because I am going in the chronological order and I've been watching Queen Charlotte.
Oh, yes.
Bitch, we're going to talk about it on Tuesday. Okay, so someone said a bajillion %, because I actually can't read how many zeros in that number there are, but it's like 1 and then a lot of zeros %. Not wrong. I literally have a pen pal from the Don't Blame Me group, which is so sweet. And I'm obsessed with that. I love that. And that's another plug to join the Facebook group. And if you don't get in for a while, that's just because I forget that we have it and I forget it to let new people in.
Yeah.
So.
Same. But I let some people in last week, so.
You did, because I finally put it on my to-do list to do, and then they were all gone, and I went, someone else had the same thought that I did, just started it earlier. Someone else said, literally not wrong at all. I can't remember the last time I received a letter, let alone one full of juicy gossip that was too sacred to send electronically. But I know if I did, I would keep that shit under lock and key and save it for future generations, grandchildren. I need to know how hot of a bitch I was so that they know what to aspire to be. Yeah, like I literally, it's probably at like my childhood home or it's gone or whatever, but I literally had a letter that a friend wrote to me from camp. And the opening of their letter was, I'm writing this to you as someone who just lost their kissing virginity. And like, that's
what an opening line.
I know. And I'm like, it's so dramatic because like you want your friends to react like aptly. You want them to react like with the same like gasp that it would in real life, that it even kind of goes more dramatic. And so I'm like, love that shit. I think that's it for this one.
All right. And then writer number 1 versus telling a friend that the writer hooked up with the friend's boyfriend. 65% said the writer is wrong. 35% said the writer is not wrong.
This one has haunted me since we recorded it.
I gotta know how y'all are doing.
I need to know, honestly, maybe more than anything. Because like I told Mott's about it and Mott's was like, is there any update on that? I'm like, we're fucking waiting with bated breath. Like I need to know. It's not a want, it's a need.
Someone said this was confusing, but to confirm, not wrong if she tells the friend. Another person said, y'all are so right. She needs to be open and honest with her friend and tell her now rather than keep it a secret and have it come out later, especially from him, and turn into something that could end the friendship instead of put a pause on it, which is true.
Yep.
Another person said, hopefully everything is okay now. Another person said, I don't know if I clicked the wrong one, but she should definitely tell her friend before it's too late, because the longer she waits, the more the chances is that the friend will think the writer hid it because they still have feelings for him, which could conjure up much more drama than it's worth if the writer just bites the bullet now.
100% agree.
Mm-hmm. Someone else said, only wrong if she doesn't tell her. Another person said writer must tell the friend if there's potential of meeting the now boyfriend, which was happening. Like, that's why they wrote it. Someone else said she doesn't want to tell her, right? In that case, she's wrong. Either way, I agree with you. And I think that means I vote for the writer's wrong, but this one is confusing to me. The writer would be wrong for not telling her friend and as honestly as she can. I might have voted wrong. Sorry. Then they continued, but this is why yapping is important. Sometimes I worry I yap too much, but then I hear about situations like this and I'm totally okay with all my friends knowing all of my business, LOL.
Yep.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Then we have writer number 2 versus telling boyfriend he is a terrible cook. 46% said the writer is wrong. 54% said the writer is not wrong. I want to give the writer some solace in this. I think it's the fact that people are not necessarily voting. Everyone wants you to tell him that he is a bad cook. Mm-hmm. That's what they want. That nobody wants you to take over the responsibility for just doing it. And this is one of those ones similar to the other one, like the one we just did, where it's just how people interpret how it was phrased in the podcast for like what would be wrong. So just know that nobody thinks that you should just take this responsibility on and not tell him. Everyone wants you to tell him. Someone said she should tell him, not like that, which is relating to the Gordon Ramsay meme of idiot sandwich, which I thought was really accurate. But she needs to tell him. Without the cleaning, though, I have OCPD, and I'm actually particular with the way I clean, and I don't want someone else to do it, even if they actually do a good job cleaning. That's, again, totally fine. There are certain things where it's like you don't want someone else to waste that energy because you're the only one who can do it up to your standards to a certain extent. But that's why you divide chores, so then they cover other things that you're not that way about. Mm-hmm. Someone said, teach that boy to be a man or make sure he knows he's a boy who could easily become a man by teaching him his damn self, and leave him if he's doing it on purpose. Like, I think she'll be wrong if she starts cooking for herself and does everything herself, but I do think she should tell the boyfriend to do better, and his cooking doesn't pass the cut, so it's not wrong to tell him. In this day and age, there's literally not one excuse for not being able to make a simple meal. Does this man know how easy it is to make spaghetti? TBH, you probably shouldn't trust him with raw meat if he is this incapable. This man could literally throw popcorn chicken into the air fryer, cover it with sweet and sour sauce, throw it over rice, and call it homemade Chinese dinner. He's got to get it all the way together. Which I, again, wholeheartedly agree with. And like the issue is that I find that like sometimes the incapabilities of men to do this are based on the fact that like they skip the first step, which is the first step is like, what do you want to make? And instead of being like, I'll just make that thing that you make and you don't use a recipe, so I'll just do it too. And it's like, why do you think that you can do something that I've done with practice, learning, and like muscle memory the first time and get it to the same level? Because I think like deep down, I think some people think that they can do it. And then they go, oh, it's a skill I don't have. Or they intentionally do that knowing that it's going to turn out poorly.
Right.
That one pissed me out the fuck off. I keep thinking about it too. As a person with my disability, there are many tools to help you on your cooking journey. Does the writer's boyfriend have a bad relationship with food? That's a valid question. I think it's also, like they said, like there's so many things that you can do where it's like you don't like chopping, you don't feel safe with a knife, like you don't, and maybe your dexterity is not great at holding a knife safely, regardless if you can work with it, get a chopper. Like there's so many like little things that you can do in that sense. And also even the responsibility being like the other one said, pulling a Sandra Lee, semi-homemade, and like getting multiple things together, pop in the air fryer, put a sauce on, mix it. It's not a from scratch, but you can make like actual meals that aren't just like frozen pizza,
right?
With that level of, and I say that as someone with POTS who there are times where like I cannot like cook from scratch. Like I don't have the energy. And I do stuff like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. This week I've just been eating, I just don't feel like cooking during the week. I like to like cook on the weekends, but I've just had like a big batch of spaghetti that I made.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. You just brown meat, put some spaghetti sauce in it. If you're not good at seasoning, then do a self-seasoning. Like people can do what they want when they get their plate, and boil some noodles. Like it's so easy to make.
Yeah.
I mean, I jazzed it up for me. I like cut up onions and stuff and put it in there, but like you don't have to go that far.
No. And when you do it, then the more you do those kinds of things, then you're like, oh, I'm going to add this other thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key component is you have to grocery shop. So you know what you have and you think ahead. You can't just like wing the meal that you're having every single night, because that's hard. I have a hard time doing that.
All the seasonings, all you need really, salt, pepper, but like don't really do a lot of salt unless you know what you're doing. Onion powder, garlic powder.
Garlic powder.
You're good.
Yep. Paprika. You're fine. That's like the base.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And then like get really into hot sauce. Make sure you offer that for people.
Yeah. And then we have Corey Harris. 91% said Harris is wrong. 9% said Harris is not wrong. And this man took us on a roller coaster ride the whole week.
The way that you were keeping me updated, being like, this happened. Oh, scratch that, reverse it. Oh, never mind. Like it was a roller coaster.
I like that you picked the exact picture when he was like,
yeah, I wanted people to really have their memories jogged. If they were like, who is this again? And then you go, oh, it was this guy.
So if you weren't keeping up the saga live like I was last week when we sat down to record on Wednesday, I was like, Megan, I'm going to cut it out the episode before it goes up tomorrow. Like they said it was a clerical error. Like he should have never like got his license taken away. Like I feel kind of bad now.
This poor man.
Both were talking about like this poor man.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next, I think it was the same day, later in the day, I sent you a text message and I said, never, yeah, it had to be because it still went out the next day on Thursday. And I said, never mind, scratch that. He never had a license to begin with. He was just going to the DMV and getting just a ID, but he's never had a driver's license, ever. It
was a clerical error that he got behind the wheel in the first place.
And he's clearly been driving for years.
Yeah, I have so many fucking questions about that because like they talk about how once I think you're over the age of 19, 25, something, but you can skip, I think you can skip driving school or you can skip like a learner's permit and then you can just like get your license. But I'm like, so this man you can't at a certain point just reach a certain age where they just go, you can just have your license.
I don't know, like back in the day, if it was that strict, like, cause he's looks like he's like in his 60s. So I don't know how much, like he might have just driven a car and then never did anything.
Yeah, he's
like
like,
they
in my
didn't
day, we
have
didn't
to
have
have a
seatbelts.
permit then. They didn't even have to like wear a seatbelt then.
I was gonna say they didn't even know.
Yeah, so I just think he just always has been driving and never did any of the checkpoints for actually getting a license.
So my question, did he get into an accident? Like, how did we end up
I don't
here?
know that much. Maybe he got pulled over for just like a random
routine traffic
thing.
stop?
Yeah.
Stop?
And then they
that's
were
what I
like,
wonder,
where's your
'cause
license?
At a certain point, I would go, okay, just go get your license. Like, you're a fine driver. Like, you can drive. You're a fine driver. But I'm like, was it because you got in an accident? Like, was it because like whatever? But like, it is illegal to also, if you don't have a license, you don't have car insurance. And so like, that is such a huge liability. So someone give this man a ride to the DMV.
They also said that now he's probably not going to be able to get one for a while because now.
Yeah.
But they also said that he's been getting a new ID like every year. He goes and gets a new one like on the same day, which you don't have to do. They last for like 5 years.
Wait. I think they last longer than 5 years
Probably.
once you're over the age of like a certain, because you're not changing what you look like. Wait. This man is making like, he's from here. Like, because I'm like, these are rules or like concepts that I'm like, who told you that this is something you should be doing or you need it? Like, that's a little, and he's not like getting a different identity. Like, it's the same. And no one at the DMV was like, this license is fine or this ID is fine. What?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe we need a little bit of a cognitive assessment.
Maybe. Someone said, I just heard an update from Phil DeFranco that he never had a license. This poor guy needs some help.
Yeah. Because he doesn't seem to have malintent.
No.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out Real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Merry Christmas, everybody! My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
And we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody! Let's go!
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to See You Next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Another person said this whole situation shows that so many men literally don't use their brain. I wanted to give him grace just like Meghan did, but when I realized the depth of his stupidity, I took that sympathy right back. Because my other question is, why would he schedule a doctor's appointment when he knew he had court? Either way, this man is all the way wrong, and seeing his face when he realized what happened was just icing on the cake. Well, evidently, I don't know if it's true because it didn't seem like there was somebody else in the car with him.
I know that
when he was driving, but he claims that his wife was having a medical emergency, but like I don't think anybody else was in the car with him.
Yeah. And like I have a lot of as someone who grew up with, well, not my whole life, but was fine for a while, with Lewy, like a family member, like grandma had Lewy body dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like very aggressive. That's what Robin Williams had. It's like not only a cognitive, but like a physical decline. I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for like early signs of that. But there are certain things that like you can't handle with kid gloves because it's patronizing. But more than that, things are dangerous. Like you can't, like my grandma, like we had to be on our ass to make sure she didn't get behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that like, you know, when she was doing something very unsafe and like, not gonna get into specifics, but like, you know, as people with dementia do when they're in the kitchen and they grab something and you go, nope, that's not it. Or saying like racial slurs or whatever it is, where it's like, no, this is to protect the safety of other people. We need you to not do that. Like you don't just let someone roam free in that and like not course correct, even if someone doesn't understand, just like removing from a situation. So like this is one of those things I'm like, if it is a cognitive issue like that, then like good thing that something has stepped in so we can make sure that there should be an assessment here. Cause like this is like feels, to me, this feels a little bit more than like male ignorance or like not using intentionally not using your brain to its full capacity. Okay. Is that the last one you had for that one?
Yep.
Then we have my nomination, the Fontana Police. 98% said the Fontana Police is wrong, and 2% said not wrong. This is another one where someone we know voted, and I went, what? And they were like, so sorry, I definitely voted wrong. I was like, good, thought so. And someone said, situations like this are exactly why I never stopped saying ACAB and fuck the police. Because my real question is, what was the point of them holding him there if they already knew where his father was and he was safe and sound? This man deserves so much more than what he got, and this entire police force needs to be dismantled. Fuck them. Wholeheartedly agree. And like, I don't know if you've been following the Karen Reed trial at all, but it's a woman who's being framed for killing her ex-boyfriend or then boyfriend. And the entire police force is attempting to frame her. And like the judge is clearly in the pocket as well. And like her defense attorney is crushing it. But it is like so blatantly corrupt. And the reason why it's like when you watch the clips of it and like almost the entire jury is women, and he literally refers to the head of the head detective on this case is being called as like a witness. And the whole point is him claiming that their defense is that like she's being framed and this is clearly like they're biased against her and they're trying to pin this on her. And they release the lead detective's text messages about her where he's like talking about texting with a group chat with the other police officers, going through her phone, looking for her nudes, and like refers to her attorney as the R slur. And then also is talking about how she has a, what do you call it? A leaky balloon knot, and that she has like he's just, and also I have to say the Boston accent really adds to all of this. And then he calls her a cunt. He tries to spell it out and he goes, C-U-N-T. And that was Southern. C-U-N-T. And then the attorney was like, no, can you say it? This is your text message. And he's like, a cunt. I called her a cunt. And I'm like, oh, and he's like, but it doesn't mean I'm biased at all. Like I'm still doing a totally by the books investigation. She's guilty. I don't hate her. I shouldn't have said that. And they're like saying all this stuff. And like the way that it is so blatantly obvious that it's a cover up, there's no evidence that she did it. There's none. They tried to plant some on the scene. Like it's just laughable. And I saw an expert who was talking about this. And like the reason why it is so laughable is because they do this all the time. Mm-hmm. And this is someone who actually has the money to fight back. And like, she's not going down without a fight. And so like, it's not, their framing is not done in a way that was intended to win in court, because they didn't think it would ever get to court, because it doesn't often. Like, they think when you can do this level of intimidation, that the fact that it doesn't hold up in a court of law is irrelevant, because they're going to get a plea deal before then. And so it reminds me of this, where it's like he was able to get whatever he could, but it's about like how much you can spend to do all of this, like how much you can, and like how much you can also emotionally withstand a court case to sue them or whatever. And so, yeah, he took the money there, and I wish it was more, but I also think that the corruption issue is that like they know that it will be so grueling emotionally and monetarily that oftentimes they know people are just going to take like the first plea or whatever money that they offer.
Fuck the popos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck the police.
It's like every day there's just something more and more corrupt.
Yep. And not to be like so dark about it, but like, you know how a lot of the time when pedophiles get caught, or they think they're going to get caught and get arrested, they like kill themselves and stuff? That doesn't happen with cops.
No, because they get away with stuff so much.
So like statistically, you find that like the only things that are actually punishable, really, those people, to avoid that and to avoid like the social shame, the stigma, like how you'll be treated when you're in prison, knowing that you will go to prison for all of that, people kill themselves. Mm-hmm. And like cops don't do that. And like the amount of crimes and shit that they commit, they know that like the worst that they'll get is let go with warm wishes and a hefty severance package. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so it's like there is no even like self-contained governance between that, where it's like, oh, the shame you feel from your coworkers, the shame you feel from society or whatever, because like it never even fucking gets to that point. Mm-hmm. I was trying to do a Monopoly trade with someone, and then I added them, and they had a Blue Lives Matter as their profile picture, and I was like, I can't trade a sticker with you. No, it's not fucking worth it. I don't want your sticker with your dirty cop loving fingers on that. Nasty. Okay, well, that is it for the episode. We hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to vote in next week's episode, and as always, stay tuned for the rest of the podcast for this upcoming week, and have a lovely, wonderful weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye. Fist you later.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.